A555ers, Andrew here. I'm waiting outside my local sushi joint, waiting for my order to get placed. Still trying to support my local businesses, and I'm trying to also hustle a little bit more on my YouTube channel here after taking kind of a break in 2020. So I'm going to do a quick review of this tool, which is the Gerber Dime. And it's kind of a controversial tool amongst the multi-tool guys here on YouTube. I do have an opinion about it, so let's get into it. All right, let's get into just quick specifications and size comparison. We've got a little Night Eyes carabiner here, Victorinox SD Classic, probably my overall favorite micro multi-tool here, and then the Gerber Dime deployed with all of its tools except for the tweezers. So you can see it's got pliers, knife, plastic opener, scissors, and a couple screwdrivers, Phillips sort of version, and then a flathead. And then you've got the bottle opener here, and that's just in comparison to an SD, which I'm bringing both of these in here for a very simple reason, which is that you go to, say, like your local Target or Walmart. These are two choices that you'll be making in about the $20 price range. And here you've got a little knife, again, a little Phillips screwdriver, scissors, and you got tweezers and a toothpick on the most common Victorinox SD. It should go without saying between the two that the Gerber Dime is way overbuilt compared to the Victorinox at this price range. The blade is quite a bit thicker, both lengthwise, and it's just a more robust sheepsfoot style blade, which means that you're probably going to be able to beat on it more. Obviously, my opinion is that you need to have a pocket knife that is separate from your multi-tool for the more intensive cutting tasks, and a pry tool if you really need to pry. But a little multi-tool like this is handy for those jobs that are small enough. And honestly, let's say that that's probably what, easily half or 75% of the little house jobs around, or jobs at work, where you just need a quick screwdriver, you need a quick little pliers to grab something, a heck, or opening up a beer. Those are the sort of things that a little multi-tool like this is useful for. Now, the SD has a sort of a different design. I think that it carries best right in the pocket. Obviously, you can take it and fold it down, and it slides right into a coin pocket, no problem. Does, of course, have something so that you can attach it to a keychain, and it works well there. But this is really a great tool for a coin pocket. The Dime, when you fold it down here, and let's just fold it up real quick, does not carry as well in a pocket. My personal opinion, and I admit I'm a white-collar guy who's working in an office environment, with everything else that we're carrying, this is too big and too heavy to carry in a pocket with all of the other EDC stuff. For some reason, this just crosses the barrier in weight and in thickness to, I don't want to carry this in my pocket. Partially that is because I'm so used to the SD, and the Dime was an adjustment, and it is somewhat blockier in the pocket compared to the SD after years, really decades of carrying this in the pocket. However, on a keychain, which I don't have a lot of keys that I'm carrying, this is more minimized because I'm often leaving my keys in a jacket pocket and not in a pants pocket. And so for me, using a little Night Eyes carabiner here, actually not on the loop here, but on the bottle opener, means that this integrates well with my keychain system, which I don't have a multi-tool on except now for the Dime. Here is a quick shot of the Gerber Dime on my keychain setup. This is a Jibbin key organizer, and there's the Dime using the Night Eyes mini carabiner, mini S carabiner. And as you can see, in a jacket pocket, this is going to be fairly compact and fairly manageable. So like I said, I think it works real good on my current keychain setup here. Look for a separate review on this. It's forthcoming. So is this the best little multi-tool out there? There might be better. You could argue some of the Leatherman offerings are better, or that you might argue also that there's a kind of classical elegance with the SD that you lose on these more utilitarian multi-tools. But the reason why I recommend the Dime and why I think you should probably go get it is because this is really widely accessible. This is something that you can find at any store that has any kind of camping supplies. And there isn't a ton of gear for 20 bucks that is actually pretty good. One of the kind of maybe overlooked features on this multi-tool is that everything's pretty spring-loaded. I'm holding my camera so I can't show you all at once, but when you use this, whether it's the pliers here, maybe I can show you just with the pliers even. See how it's snapping open? And this isn't just an example. I think this is true of the way the Dime is designed. Is there's a lot of sort of back spring tension in all of the tools that allows you to deploy all the larger tools, the scissors, the knife, etc., with some extra inertia from those springs. That is, I don't know if it adds the utility, but it certainly makes this tool more pleasant to use. And I found after carrying this for over a year, and as you can see, when I had all the tools to play, I'm not using it on everything. I'm not beating the crap out of this, but for the occasional situation of deployment, this tool is pleasant to deploy and not distracting to deploy. You know, one of the problems with some of the earlier Leathermans, like I have a first gen Wave, is that you really have to focus on deploying the tools when you're getting them out, and that's annoying because you're already thinking of some problem that you need to fix. And so what is necessary in these kind of little tools is that they are not distracting you from whatever the task is at hand, that they're efficient, and frankly, they should be pleasant to use. For 20 bucks, this is probably the most pleasant to use of the micro tools that I've used. Maybe you could go up to like a Skeletool CX or some of the higher end Leathermans and get a lot more quality build materials, maybe better arrangement of tools. But for 20 bucks, this has actually been my choice. And I admit, I'm not a huge Gerber fan. You're not going to see a lot of Gerber reviews on the channel, but I love how widely available this is. I love, there are different colorways that you can get easily. So I like the all black look. You know, it's pretty, pretty discreet. And I do like how it feels in the hand when you're using it. One comment, this bottle opener has gotten some hate from people, as well as the tweezers. They're fine. And actually, as a guy who drinks beer regularly and enjoys it, this is a pretty decent cap lifter. That is more important to me than a bottle opener that, for example, folds in or is smaller. Either commit to having a bottle opener on your multi-tool or leave it out, like on the case of the SD. Again, the review of the Dime is that the tools are useful, the blade shape is useful, the scissors are excellent. There's quite an important comparison here on the scissors. Let me show you that real quick. The most annoying part of the SD, even though I overall love this tool and have made a whole video kind of homaging the SD, is that the scissors have this replaceable spring, which is so annoying because it loses spring tension very easily. You can remove the spring and rebend it. You can replace it if it's necessary. But overall, the scissors are always the thing that are giving you troubles on SD. But on the Dime, you have this much thicker stock of spring that is built in itself into the spine of the multi-tool, which means that the scissors is actually good. Now, my scissors happen to come sharp, and I have no problem cutting little hairs with it, so it is meeting my needs without having the problem that the SD has. I also don't have any problems with the tweezers. I'm not going to pull them out and show you. The other thing that I don't like about the SD, and this is probably a little bit more controversial, is the tiny little penknife. Let's look at that. Now, the penknife on the SD, of course, is a classic feature. It is very thin, goes to a very nice narrow tip there, kind of a spear point. Steel is very easy to resharpen. But the problem that I have with it is, first of all, there's no real spring tension here, so you kind of have it's hard to hold this in a way that really gives you full use of the knife. You end up sort of, like, for example, cutting a letter open. As you can see, there's some stickiness from opening envelopes here. You always end up sort of struggling cutting through any kind of paper medium. This knife, which doesn't show the years of wear that the SD has, is nevertheless, with this sheepsfoot design, big belly, kind of robust tip. You can kind of utilize that spear point front tip that you get on this Victorinox, but have still a very thin knife that, for me, I just prefer opening envelopes and letters with this blade style, and I feel like that's one of the easy things that you can screw up on these little multi-tools. It's just a blade shape. This is a good blade shape. It's a good grind. It's a mystery meets steel, which of course is a drag. If you use it enough to have to resharpen it. I have not used it enough to need to resharpen it, and it's been really good. All right, guys. Final conclusions about the Gerber Dime. I find all the tools useful in this. I find it a fairly enjoyable little multi-tool to carry. Enjoyable enough that I've made it part of my regular rotation now for a few months. I do find it quite a bit more robust than my SD, which I have carried now for a long time. Is the Dime going to replace the SD? No, it's not. This is on my keychain. This is in my pocket. Is that redundant? Yes, it is. But sometimes I am away from my keys. Sometimes I'm taking this and giving it to someone else to use. Yes, I do share my tools. And sometimes I need this for things that are a little more discreet than the Dime. What do I wish the Dime had? First of all, I wish it had some kind of toothpick in it. The toothpick on the SD has been a lifesaver when I'm in a business meeting and I need to take care of business. The SD clearly has that, and the Dime does not. I also wish that the Dime had some kind of a version with not all full steel construction. I don't necessarily need carbon fiber slabs here or something, but like an aluminum version that would be lighter might kick this out of my pocket. Right now this is stuck on a keychain where I can carry it in a jacket pocket and it's not going to bother me. If I'm carrying jeans around the house, or sorry, if I'm wearing jeans around the house, I'm going to carry a bigger multi-tool than this. I'm going to go for my Leatherman Wingman or something else that's going to be larger. But those are hard to find and they're more expensive. And so if you're looking for a more robust multi-tool than your standard Victorinox, you have a budget of 20 bucks and you see this at the store, I recommend it. It's just that simple. I recommend it. That's why I want to make a video. Is I do like the Gerber Dime. I think it's a good value for 20 bucks. I think it's a well-conceived tool. My example has good construction and it, fit and finish. That certainly isn't anything to write home about, but certainly isn't bad quality either, and doesn't have any sort of inherent flaws in the design or in the manufacturing that causes me not to recommend it. I do recommend it. Guys, let me know down below if you're a Gerber Dime carrier. It's an older design, but it is now widely accessible, so I'd be interested in hearing from you about what your experience is. If you've been on it more than I have, please do report to all the other 555ers. And if you're new here, guys, please give this video a thumbs up, first of all. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. And become a subscriber. I don't make videos as regularly as some channels, but I do depend on my subscribers, specifically subscribers who do me the favor and the courtesy of hitting the bell to check in and to watch videos when they're posted, and I really do appreciate you guys hitting subscribe, clicking that bell, and I hope you enjoyed this little multi-tool review. Take care.